And our fourth main topic today gets submitted to us by Argus, and Argus writes, I'm a Dungeons & Dragons enthusiast and have been DMing my home game for about 12 years, so I'm obviously very interested in the new movie. But I'm a little concerned about what Chris Pine just said about it, calling it a Game of Thrones mixed with Princess Bride kind of movie. I don't know about you, but when I think of D&D, I don't think Princess Bride, as great as it is. What do you think about this? All right, thanks a lot for sending this in, man. And yeah, you guys remember, a long time ago, they announced they're doing a new Dungeons & Dragons movie. The film's shot. It's all shot. It's coming out. And one of the big, news items that came out as a result of it was that they got Chris Pine to be in it. And actually a pretty good cast all the way around. But the Chris Pine thing was a bit of a win for them to do that. It was kind of a big coup. So they've been shooting it. And look, obviously they made a Dungeons & Dragons movie before. And I think it's fair to say it was awful. I mean, all film is subjective. And, every movie has somebody that likes it and some people that don't. And I'm sure there are some fans out there of the original Dungeons & Dragons movie. But I think it's safe to say that for the most of us, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. And so the idea of them returning again seemed like why, but also a possibility for redemption. And then Chris Pine comes out and says that this movie's like Lord of the Rings and Princess Bride. And it's like, really? Anyway, this is what he had to say about this, all right? This comes to us from Sci-Fi Wire. We had a hell of a lot of fun making it, Pine said. There was a lot of laughs. The way that I've been describing it, it's like Game of Thrones mixed with a little Princess Bride. Just a smudge of Holy Grail, and somewhere in that ballpark, it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of thrills. It's poppy. It's 80s heartfelt. There's a bit of Goonies in there. Really? My character, he's the ultimate party planner. I think it's going to be really good. I mean, who effing knows? But I think we got a shot, and John are killer guys. They know comedy and they know heart, and we had a great cast, and we had a good time making it, and that's all you can ask for. That came to us from Chris Pine and the good folks at Sci-Fi Wire. All right. I will be the first to admit that I'm not looking for Goonies in a new Dungeons & Dragons movie. I want an awesome, epic, fantasy, hardcore adventure. You know me, Princess Bride, I think, is one of the most tremendous, wonderful, most beloved movies ever made in history. But I'm not looking for Princess Bride in a Dungeons & Dragons movie. Like when he says that we have, what was the other one he said with a little hint of the Princess Bride? Oh, a smidge of Holy Grail. Really? Spoof slapstick comedy? Really? Now when he says Game of Thrones, yes, that's what I'm looking for. What I want is, I want Game of Thrones meets Braveheart. That's what I want. I want the Game of Thrones intrigue and drama, and I want Braveheart level massive battles and all that kind of stuff. And so when I hear him say Holy Grail and Goonies and Princess Bride, I instantly start going, oh no, this is starting to feel like that other Dungeons & Dragons. But then I have to remind myself of something. If you had described to me the Critical Role animated show, which I now forget what the name of it is. I just finished watching it.
Vox Machina.
Vox Machina. If you had described Vox Machina to me, I'm not sure you wouldn't have said a little bit of Holy Grail. I'm not sure you wouldn't have said a little bit of Goonies. I'm not sure you would have said that. And guess what? I freaking loved Vox Machina. I thought it was great. I didn't have a lot of hope for it. I was very skeptical of it. I didn't have high expectations. I like the Critical Role guys, but I thought it was just going to be silly and whatever. They raised a lot of money on Kickstarter, but this is kind of going to be a way. I loved it. Not as much as Harley Quinn, granted, but I loved Vox Machina. So I got to check myself a little bit because, yeah, Rob, my first reaction to hearing this is, but they did just kind of give us that in Vox Machina, and I really did enjoy it. So I'm a little bit torn right now. Rob, you hear this. Where's your expectations right now for Dungeons & Dragons? And what do you think of Chris Pine's comments?
Well, it's funny to me because I'm always about tone, especially when it comes to fantasy, science fiction, genre material. You got to pick a tone. And I'm always wary of things that are wildly tonally divergent within whatever it is. And, to me, the whole idea of Dungeons & Dragons has a little humor in it. It's called Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
It's so, and when you play Dungeons and Dragons, yeah, there's people that get really, really serious about it, but it's fun. When you're playing it, it's fun, especially when you're playing with a group of people. And it's not like, we're not watching Ned Stark get his head cut off. It's more fun than that. So I think that if they've chosen a tone, to me, it sounds to me like it could have, when they say Goonies, again, I don't know why I keep thinking this, but if it's an 80s thing, more of a Last Starfighter, the Goonies where you got a group of friends, kind of, I could see, I kind of understand where they're going. The problem is I want still the tone, I want there to be a little bit of seriousness in it. I hope they create a world and stick to that world. And if it's more amusing than most, like Vox Machina, I don't want it to start out like Game of Thrones and then turn into Holy Grail.
Right.
I don't think that entirely works. But you can have you can still make a sword and sorcery epic and still have humor and amusement in it. And the adventures can be kind of funny. I mean, I guess. But the tone that he's describing is a difficult one for me to buy into. I hope it works.
Ray, you play in our D&D group. What was your guys? You were a half orc, right?
Yeah, no, I was just a pure barbarian ogre.
Oh,
guy.
An ogre. That's what it was,
Yeah.
right? Barbarian ogre. Ray's. By the way, I'm just gonna throw this. Ray's a lot of fun to play Dungeons and Dragons with. I'm just gonna throw that. in.
I changed that story so much.
You do.
I do.
Very
My
much.
ideas are very
Disruptive to the game.
to even the dungeon master. He's like, you ruined my game.
Yeah, Anna's like, okay, fine, but it was always fun. But listen, you got any excitement for this movie? Hearing about this?
This movie will work for me, and I know it's gonna sound like Lord of the Rings, kind of like, but this movie will work for me no matter if it's comedy or whatever. If the effects are good, like the monsters that they run into. And there's got to be some hack and slash in there. Like in the dungeons, I want skeletons coming out of nowhere, scaring me. I want all that. I want each class or race of the group to actually show. And I want them to each have their own personality so I could attach myself to one of them. I want the group aspect of this movie to really hit home with me. Because that's all that's important.
Yeah. I mean,
back to back, everything.
Yeah, if it's a quest movie, and you got a diverse. When I say diverse, a different, like orcs, elves,
different personalities,
thieves. All different kinds of people. You throw these disparate entities together to go out on a quest. That is inherently kind of fun.
Yeah, no matter what.
You got to make, that's the key though, what Ray's saying, you got to make, if you can make that core group of characters, because that's the thing that makes Vox Machina work, I think, is that this core group of characters, you like the characters and you like the dynamic between them. If this movie can do that, it can succeed. If it doesn't do that, doesn't matter how good the visual effects are. It won't matter.
I completely agree with you. And it's also, the tone has to be right. You can't jump from Game of Thrones to Princess Bride to Holy Grail. You've got to, it's all got to work together. And I think if look, Chris Pine's not stupid. But then he does say, I don't know if it's going to work, but it was fun to make.
Yeah, he did say, he goes like, I mean, whoever knows. I don't know.
I mean, it could be.
I think we got something good here.
Actor says project is good. Film at 11.
But I mean, we'll say this too. There have been a number of leaked set photos on set from them. I've seen at least a dozen of them. And I will say that every single one of them that I see, Chris Pine looks like he's having a blast. Like, it's always these behind the scenes things. And every image I've seen that's been leaked out of there from behind the scene, every single time, he's looked like he's been having the time of his life. Well, that's a good thing.
I think the movie's not great, but Willow, Ron Howard's Willow.
Oh yeah, of course.
I really like Val Kilmer's Mad Mardigan.
Mad Mardigan.
I mean, and Willow, I don't think quite got the balance right. But if it's kind of along those lines, but maybe a little harder edged with a little bit more, the comedy is a little bit more for adults, say, it could work.
A little more gory.
Like Vox Machina.
Looking at that set picture, I'm scared that there is not going to be a huge barbarian ogre as a part of the team. It kind of looks like they might be all just humans, which would really be crappy, I think. I don't know. We'll see. We'll wait for the first trailer, but I hope there's other races other than human.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this and Chris Pine's comments that the new D&D movie, which, by the way, I myself am personally very much looking forward to, is a little bit of a Game of Thrones and Princess Bride and Goonies and Holy Grail? At first, it's kind of off-putting to me, but then I think about Vox Machina. Maybe you guys haven't seen Vox Machina. You should. And I think, well, wait a minute, maybe it could work. So I don't know. I'm very curious. I don't know what to think. What are you guys thinking right now? Jump down into the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. We want to take a minute and thank the sponsors of this video, Liquid IV. Now listen, just one stick of Liquid IV added to 16 ounces of water will hydrate you faster and more efficiently than just water alone. It contains 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and of course vitamin C with 3 times the electrolytes as traditional sports drinks. And what makes Liquid IV so effective is the science of cellular transport technology, or CTT. You see, it's designed to enhance rapid absorption of water and other key ingredients into your bloodstream faster and more efficiently. You know, Ann and I get up pretty early in the morning to go to the gym because we can't go to the gym at any other time during the day. And for the last couple of weeks, I have been drinking 1 full glass of water with Liquid IV. And all I can tell you is you can feel the difference during the workout. So go and grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code Campea at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use the promo code Campea, that's Campea, at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today when you go to liquidiv.com, and remember, use the promo code at checkout, Campea.